Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Marta and I am so delighted to have you guys here today. We are going to be making Halloween wall art. I found this awesome gilded frame in the trash. I'm assuming it was a mirror and it shattered, so they threw it out. So I, lucky me, got to use it. Okay, so to start, I'm just cleaning it up and from all the dust, and I took out the backing, which looks like particle board. I'm using sheet moss, another freebie from a neighbor, getting rid of some craft supplies. But you can get sheet moss in most craft stores like Michael's or the ever convenient Amazon. I'm just cutting it to size and then using hot glue to adhere it. I highly recommend using a larger glue gun. Mine is pretty small and it took me longer than it should have. I was struggling with it a little bit, but I got it done. Since this project, I actually bought a larger one. I'm using that little silicone tool that you see here to avoid burning my fingers with the hot glue, because the sheet moss is on a netting of sorts and the glue kind of seeps through it. Anyway, that was a big help. I got that at the Dollar Tree. I got this opposable skeleton from Michael's. I think it was like maybe $8, but I got it half off, so it was about $4. I just cut off a little loop on the top of its head so that it wouldn't be there, but I'm not too concerned about the black dot left because you're not going to really see it, and I'm going to put something on its head. Here I'm just kind of moving it around and futzing around with it to see the position I really want. And I don't know why I was doing this, because originally I just knew it was going to end up how it ended up. Here's some supplies. I got some worms, which I didn't end up using. I got all these stuff at Michael's. These are centipedes, little snakes. I got everything 50% off. I highly recommend going to Michael's after the season. So little spiders, they were great. They move a little bit, the wire legs. Some flies and some beetles. But yeah, go at the end of the season. I didn't end up using these. These are glow-in-the-dark bugs. I'm going to use them for a different project, but they're just in case. And these little paper flowers were also from Michael's, from the Reflections line, and they are just gorgeous. I'm using the DIY Dark and Decrepit liquid patina to age the skeleton. I love DIY line. They're a little expensive, but their product is amazing. I use other cheaper products as well, which I think are great, but this DIY, I don't know, I got a little bit into DIY line. Don't you just wish that in real life you could move this fast? The things I would make if I could move this speed in real life, the things I could accomplish. Anyway, we can all dream, right? Here I foolishly thought that hot glue would hold this little skeleton's arms down, but since they're opposable, they were a little hard to kind of maneuver. Anyway, I used various things. This is liquid gel super glue, which also did not work. I left this clip on there, and it's just, in the end, I used wire to wire them closed like that, the arms. Anyway, here's more product. Were some dried flowers that I didn't end up using. I have various colors of reindeer moss and some fern picks, all from Michael's. And those little mushrooms are from Michael's too. I didn't end up using those either, but I use them in a different project. I love these different colored reindeer moss. I got them pretty cheap, also off season. They had like a spring clearance in Michael's, and I got them for nothing. The pick was a little expensive, but it's worth it. It's humongous, and it's very realistic and beautiful. The other two little picks, I think I got those at the Dollar Tree. I didn't end up using those. Anyway, here I'm just breaking them up and kind of playing around with the colors a little bit to make like a moss bed for our little Bonnie bride. The secret to this is really just playing around with the patterns, with what you have, the colors, just placing them in strategic places so that they're kind of evenly spread across, kind of like you would do a Christmas tree or floral arrangement. Yeah, it was fun. This was a lot of fun making this little project. I've really enjoyed myself. These little beetles that I was using had like a little circular loop, I guess, to hang. I'm not sure, but I cut them off here. So here I have Waverly chalk paint in Fern and in Scallion. I mixed them up with a little water so that the paint isn't so thick, and I went ahead and decided to paint the fern leaves because I felt like they were blending in a little too much with the background. They were a little too close to the background color, and I wanted them to be a little more vibrant. I wanted various greens, and this did the trick. So sorry it's a little bit off frame. The next few leaves that I paint will be in frame, but what I did was dab it with a paper towel so it wouldn't hold so much paint, because they're pretty spongy, like velvety type of leaves, and I felt like this worked pretty well. See, you can see more contrast now with the leaf against the moss, which is what I was going for. Okay, so now I'm using Rub and Buff. I believe it's Gold Leaf, the color. I am just applying it to the bugs to make them pop out a little bit. You could also paint them in different colors, and I believe you can also, in craft stores or in Amazon, you could find different colored gilded waxes. That would have been beautiful. I actually bought a set I haven't used yet, but I would have loved to use it on this because I had some really nice like lime greens and teals that would have looked really nice in this, but I was using what I have and I think it turned out really beautiful. So here you can see that the glue just didn't hold. This is where I wired it in. I just kind of fished the wires through the rib cage and to the wrists. Used my little handy dandy tool and it worked perfectly. Here I start removing everything that I placed so I can glue it down with hot glue. I used these little silicone finger covers that I got from the Dollar Tree and they work well, except I have very big hands and these are definitely made with someone smaller in mind because my poor fingers were hurting. In the end, I had to just take them off. I couldn't stand it anymore. But if you have small hands, I highly recommend not burning your fingers. I also have a very high tolerance for heat. I don't know why, but that's just how I am. So sometimes I don't even really need the silicone tools, but it is nice to have them to protect yourself. This gun that I have isn't high heat. The big one that I have is, so I would definitely be wearing protection for that. Another thing I wanted to mention was that in that packet of moss that I had of various colors, there's this beautiful purple Spanish moss, and I feel like that just tied the whole thing together. That color was, you can't really tell on the camera, but it's pretty vibrant and beautiful. So I was so happy with how it turned out. And I feel like it was that purple Spanish moss in the end that kind of really did it. Here I'm finally laying her on her little bed of moss. I'm using liquid Titebond, quick and thick Titebond, and some hot glue to glue her down to the frame. I just used that air clay bag to kind of weigh her down because it's kind of heavy. Here's a little bouquet I made for her. That was fun to make a little bouquet, so tiny, cute. I went ahead and decided to use the little flowers onto the moss. I thought that it gave it a nice little extra color, and I just thought it was really pretty, like a little bed of roses on moss for our little Bonnie bride. And here I'm just gluing down the rest of the bugs where I decided to place them. I was still playing around with it a little bit. It was so much fun to play around with this stuff. Here I'm going to give the little skeleton bride a floral crown, and I'm just cutting back the stems and gluing them on her head in alternating colors of pink and purple. And actually the stems of these little roses, the wire that I cut back was what I used to tie her little arms down. Here I'm taking DIY black wax and a chippy brush, and I am going to kind of tone back the gold frame. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this step from in the beginning. I wish I did, because it would have been a lot easier to do this in the beginning before putting everything down. But I got it done. I had to move some of the ferns back a bit. But yes, I would, if you're going to end up kind of antiquing or grunging up the look of the gold, then yes, definitely do this beforehand. I also use the black wax to darken her eye sockets, just to make her a little more spooky and creepy. Here I'm also using the black wax on the gold snakes that I got, mainly to match them up with the other ones that were black that I put gold on, just to kind of tone down the gold a little bit. I hope you enjoyed watching me make this project as much as I enjoyed making it. I will show the reveal at the end of this video after my next project. So here we are at project number 2. I'm using this toll tray that I thrifted. I got it pretty cheap because it's all scratched up, so I'm not going to feel too bad about painting over it. Now this Ouija board decoupage paper is by a company called Monahan Papers, and I purchased it at an online store called Milton's Daughter. They carry transfers, stamps, decoupage papers, DIY paints, as well as other paint brands, and IOD, another great brand that I love. So now here I'm doing the water method to kind of rip it up and make it look grungy and not like a straight edge so that it can better blend in with the tray. So here I'm using DIY paints, one in Little Black Dress and the other one is Eden. It's a green, like a dark green. I really love it. I kind of blend them both together, but it's mainly black, the tray. I give it like 2 good coats of black paint. And here I'm just using like a little heat gun to kind of speed up the process. I love this little heat gun. It works great. So here I watered down the Eden paint. I didn't water down the black paint because I wanted it to be thick, but the green paint, I kind of want it faded, so I watered it down. And now I am applying a good thick coat of Mod Podge to the bottom of the tray where I'm going to adhere the decoupage paper to. This was my first time trying the heat method where you let it dry and then you put your paper down and you get like a little sheet of wax paper, and I have this cute little iron and it just kind of activates the Mod Podge glue and it sticks again. I thought it worked okay. I think maybe in some areas I could have used a little more Mod Podge glue, but overall it worked pretty well. I just dried it up and then I don't know why I did it twice. I guess I was just a little bit nervous. I want to make sure it's stuck. I think in the end I only have like 1 bubble, which isn't too bad. So here I am just applying another good coat of Mod Podge throughout the whole tray at this point. I'm using matte finish Mod Podge, so I didn't really want it too shiny. And here we go again with my little heat gun. And then in the back I used, you can't really see it, but anyway, it's Rust-Oleum chalked matte finish. Like it's like a matte top coat. And I just used that for the back with a big old brush. So here we are towards the end. Now this is DIY black wax, and I am just going to kind of brush over everything to make it look a little more aged, the paper. And I also use gold rub and buff on the edges of the tray. So here I'm just applying it, and then I'm gonna wipe it back with a paper towel. I felt like it was still popping out a little too much, so what I went ahead and did was just grab a little more of the black and green paint and kind of just did edging around the paper, the artwork. Kind of wiping it back, and I feel like that looks a little better blended than before. here I'm just wiping it back a little bit to make sure that you can see the words better, like the yes and no, the hello, goodbye. I just want to make sure it's legible. And then I added a little more black wax to it, to the edges, and now to the edges and the handles of the tray I am adding, I think it was just gold leaf rub and buff. Pretty sure that's the color I used. I love spirit boards. They're beautiful. They've gotten a bad rap with all the horror movies out there, but they are a divination tool, and much like the tarot cards, but it's just not as used anymore. I think a lot of people have just, like I said, they got a bad rap and people fear them, but I think they're very beautiful, aesthetically pleasing to the eye. They're just mysterious and ghostly and haunting, and I just love them. People use them for centuries to communicate with the dead, with their loved ones that moved on, that passed on. And I'm finally finished. For those of you that stayed throughout the whole video, thank you so much. And here's the reveal. I added a little black velvet bow. I just kind of fished it along through little openings there just to hang it. I just hung these two little guys. There's my Bonnie Bride. They are on my gallery wall, and I just absolutely love them. I mean, I've always liked the dark stuff, so I might actually have them all year long on my wall. Who knows? I am kind of creepy like that. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you on my next little video for my next project. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.